Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Storms, and today we are doing a tutorial video, Horde-based tutorial video on 7 Days to Die. Still works, what doesn't work, and everything else. So obviously you're gonna take a look at this and you're gonna go, I can't build that on day 7 in the Pine Forest. No, obviously you can't. But this is just what I built to test it on what would be, I think it was well, I can just press it up actually. If I press up, if I tested it on day 700 all night in the wasteland on the hardest settings. So but the premise is still the same. So if you're in the pine forest, you're gonna be building out of cobblestone, or whatever it's called, cobblestone block. Yeah, cobblestone cubes. Or cobblestone material, shall we say. That's what you're going to be building this out of. And then as you progress further through the game, you're going to move up to concrete and then to steel. But on a day 700 all night, on the hardest settings, you can see that most of the base is still concrete and still standing. I would probably say, bar this bit here, the fighting position, the rest of it could have been all concrete and it wouldn't have broke. It would have withstood. With this, there's a lot of damage. Well, not a lot of damage, but little bits of damage everywhere. Like in really stupid places that it wouldn't be normally. That is the bees. The bees in this biome is ridiculous. They just attack everything. So yeah, but the inside of this, because you look at it and you think, Jesus, that's huge. It's going to take so many materials if you're building from scratch, that is. It isn't, because the hollow of it is just normal building blocks. I actually forgot to put one in there. And I didn't do the top layer either. I forgot about that because I was too busy in there and then I just started it. So this bit here doesn't have to be this size. Literally can be, all of this can be gone. Like that chunk there. This chunk here can be gone. And you don't need all of this at the back. This is just if you want to put your base in here as well, you can see the sort of space. This can be as big or as little as you need it or want it to be. And I would literally just do, like, the majority of this can be wood if you're in the pine forest, but I would always make the bottom 3 ones cobblestone if you're in the pine forest. These blocks and the blocks, the actual square blocks behind it. And then again, as you move through the game, progress it up further. These ones up here, as you can see, a bee's touched them in like 1 or 2 places, so could be wood, wouldn't make a difference. They don't go nowhere near it. This area here, I would say how I've done it to the top layer to protect from vultures and bees. It's going to be whatever your strongest material needed at the time, whether that be cobblestone in the pine forest, concrete, going forwards until you get to the hardest biome, wasteland, and then you're having it still. The other thing as well is I'm doing this on the hardest settings possible in the game. So on, say, the easiest settings in the game, probably don't need steel at all. Concrete will 100% hold all of it up. Now, I'm going to explain the mechanics of the building. And the way it's set up, the way it's designed, the reason why it's designed like this. Oh, get rid of this. That bit. Got any more close by? I like to dig a lot of holes for zombies that don't no longer do digging. I turned digging off, but yeah. In the Horde, I'm gonna do another Horde just to show you, as I'm actually doing it. But the first test Horde I did, a lot of the damage that was done by them thinking C4 zombies. If you shoot the wrong part in the chest, they explode. I forget what they're called, but you guys will know what they're called. So yeah, mechanics. These blocks here is this one. It is called, doesn't say. But if you go into your shape thing and you type in rail, it's right there. It's a Ballista rail broken 2. Now what these do, and the reason why they're along all 3 squares around the whole of my base, is there is only a select few zombies that will attack these squares. Otherwise, they will just stand there trying to push against them, but they won't attack the blocks. There is 4 or 5 zombies that will attack them. Excuse me. Which is why some of them have taken damage. So you want to put these around. These things here, ignore them. They used to work. Zombies wouldn't walk on them, but they do now. So these are irrelevant. These blocks here are called I believe it's wall. Put in wall, and it's these. So wall studs. Excuse me. Croaky throat this morning. I know that sleep. So yeah, it's these blocks here. Now, when you're placing them, place them side by sides. They do that, which means they're the wrong way. Because these, to a certain extent as well, will protect your walls. If these are 4 high, zombies will walk up to them and just jump at them. They won't hit them. They just jump at them. So again, they can be put there as well. And no zombie jumps from them, but the bottom ones, the way it messes up is the bottom ones, crawlers, crawlers can just go straight through them. And if a zombie is crouched down, and another zombie comes up behind it, it will push it straight through the gap. So you could think to yourself, oh, well, I'll just put, say, a ladder there. Which is fine, you can do that, and then they won't come through. But then, for some reason, that makes the zombies attack the one above. Now, you see here, if I build upwards, takes out the middle piece. You have to rotate it until you get the middle pieces in the direction that you want them. Now, obviously, this gap here, zombies can walk straight through that. They ain't just going to stand there and jump. You have to get it the right way. The way you would want it, if you're using it as a wall to keep zombies from coming through, is you rotate it. I've gone past it, so I probably have to go around again. Yeah, you'd rotate it until it does that. That way. They can only get through the bottom. Unless they're crouching and being pushed through, they ain't going to get through these ones. Now, this isn't a very good full base protection. As far as being up there at the fighting position. It's not good for that at all. But what it is good for, get rid of these in a minute. What it is good for is putting on its side and running them up this way. They have to run up this way. If they run across that way, they won't work. But they will running up this way underneath the fighting position. The zombies won't walk on them. They just will not path on them. So they don't even attempt to come over here and start bashing on your walls. However, because of the way the whole base is set up, when zombies fall down, they do sometimes get pushed, rolled, whatever, and they will try and walk on here, in which case they fall through the gap. Then they're constantly trying to jump out and get out. But again, some of them will rage and they'll come over and take a pop shot at your base. So, but if you see from the last one, and it was the last one I tested, yes, they come over. I mean, this could have even been explosion damage. I didn't see them here at any point hitting the wall. I saw them down here inside the grooves, but they never went and hit the wall. What they did was just jump out again. So yeah, that's how that works. Now at the top from your main base, you want to build your fighting room outwards. Now, say your main base, this building here, is actually a POI. So you've found a POI, you've made it your base, and you want to build your whole base off of it. You want to make sure that it is at least 5 high. Is that one? I don't even remember now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 high off the ground. And if you're doing this design, you want to bring it out so that the drop here is a couple of squares away from where you do them runs. Because what you don't want them to do is to drop out of there and fall straight in there, if that was there, like, you know. So you want the gap. Starting off on the easy, if you're doing it easy settings and in Pine Forest, you only need this gap here. But the further the game goes on, with the more zombies spawning and the harder they get, you're going to need 2 gaps. Because you don't, under any circumstances, want them piling up here. Don't want loads of them at the hole. And even, you'll see, when I do this Horde night, I still get them. The certain zombies are just a nightmare to hit. So yeah. In the earlier days, 1 drop hole, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. As you go on and progress even further, you want 2 drop holes. So some of them will fall there, then they run across. The other ones will run across, and then some of them will fall there, and then 1 will hang on to here. So doing these blocks like this, it's literally you go to the first, well, you'll see it on the first page as soon as it is. It's the cube half 1. And then all you're doing is turn it around. So it's there at the base of your fighting position. And then you flip it again. And you place it again. And that puts the gap. You do that the other end as well. These are just thin poles. Again, if you go into the thing and type in thin, you'll see it there, pipe thin. That's what the pipes are. Fighting position itself is up on the outside. I put in ladders going up so that they can't climb them. So they're across. On the inside, it's the ladder's across. On the outside, it's up and down. And that's exactly the same for the higher block as well. That way you can kill things if they do somehow ladder up. On the actual fighting position itself, I'm using 1 of them blocks. These ones on the outside. And I'm using 1 of these blocks with the little broken bit on the inside. All off either side, because less chance you're getting hit by cops spitting at you from any of the angles. And underneath you want the bars so you can see, just in case, to make sure that they ain't attacking anything. So from back here at the wall, I can see all the way to the edge of the base. Same back at the wall here, and see all the way to the edge of the base. And if you do get a pile up and for some reason they are beating the crap out of your base, because of the bars here, you can literally pop them off, kill them from up there. Now, underneath, along here I put the slanted one that opens up the line of sight more. I put the slanty ones underneath, slope ones, which is, you all know what it is, but for those of you that might be looking that don't know much about 7 Days to Die, the block it is in the first page, and it's that one there, the ramp. Okay. And I also, yeah, that's it. So yeah, so both sides you want to put the ramps in facing like that, so that it gives you a better line of sight to the edge of your base. Because if it was a solid block, we wouldn't see past here probably. I would have thought on both sides. So that's why they're slanted there. The top of the fighting position again, slanted. So that if they do somehow get pushed and climbed up, they're just gonna drop back down to the floor. The two blocks beside this block that I have here, you see is a ramped block, the thinnest one possible. What do we put in? I don't think we do. I think it's just a case of finding them. It should be page 2. That's the plate. Not page 2, phase. Ah, on here and then page 2, I believe it is. Maybe 3. It's 4. So it's called a plate ramp. Page 4 on the ramp ones. I know it's page 2 or 4. Couldn't remember each one. So yeah, you want the plate ramps, and they're going to go upside down beside this, so that when the zombies get pushed out to the side, they're just going to slide off. They're not going to hang around too much, although there is a few zombies that still do. I don't quite know what's going on with that, but that is what happens. Now, as far as steel goes, or your strongest material, if you can, and you have the materials, because of the way this is built, and the strength-wise, you want to do a strip the whole way to the back of the base. So yeah, that's that. You want to do it the whole way round and across the bottom, because that will help keep all this stable. All this lot here. I don't quite know how it's holding up now. So yeah, as you can see, Weedy. Yeah. That's the stability anyway. So you can see where it's weak and where it's not. So you got to be careful. As you're building it. Especially this bit here, you probably end up having to guess where the stairs go and build that first before you put that one across. And definitely with the bringing the fighting position out this far. So these are the stairs I use, and again, a steel. I would use my strongest material that I'm using in the current part of the game on that, and I just steel all the way down the middle. That way, if for some reason they do knock out one of these other stairs, or 2 of them, say, and the zombies can no longer get up there, but with this steel in place, they're never going to break this. So the stairs and the way to get to me will still remain. So, and it needs to for them to register this as a base, and they need to attack it. When I'm doing stairs, especially at the edges, again, I expect most people know about this, but I'm just doing it in case there's some people that don't. So if I Copy that. That's the block that I use. One that way, and then one you just flip it around so it looks like that. Because the zombies are going to run up to this wall, and then they're going to come along the wall. And if they ain't there, they're going to struggle, and they either lose interest or they'll walk around and then go up these stairs. You want them just to fluently walk back on and walk up. And that should be fine. Now, obviously, I raised mine on a platform, but again, it's not something you have to do. I just did it because the ground was uneven. Clear these away because I don't want them. Trying to take advantage of me recording. Oh, zombie there. Yeah, that's the whole base really. If you want a tutorial of me actually building it, just let me know in the comments. And if enough people want me to do it, then I'll do a tutorial of me actually building it. Now, the reason I've got all level 6 weapons fully modded, blah blah blah, is because I would assume by the time you get to the wasteland, you'll have max tools and mods and whatnot. This is the Horde. Yeah. Obviously, when you're in lower areas like the Pine Forest or Burnt Biome, you're not going to have these strong weapons. But you won't need that strong weapons, that's the point. The zombies will be less harder to kill. So, that is the whole base. I'm trying to think of anything else I need to explain. I think that's it. Yeah. Majority of zombies are going to fall down this hole or that hole. Going to walk over here and go straight up and rinse and repeat the whole way. The whole way through. And like I said, there's a couple that fall down, and some of them manage to get stuck in there. So you want to make sure each part is sturdy, not going to collapse. Apart from the ones you saw on the roof, because they don't need to be sturdy. So with the wall, if you're not using a POI, if you're building from scratch, you want your hardest material to go a couple of blocks in. That way, if they get through one of your blocks, they still got to get through the other one. So yeah, The roof has the bars on it. Overhead, the whole fighting position, so you can shoot the vultures when and if they arrive. But yeah, that's it. So I'm going to run a horde mode now, just so you can see how easy it is, or how hard it is. Not going to fill that line out there because I ain't going to get to it. Hopefully we won't have too many exploding zombies, and we won't have, what was I going to say? Hopefully this time around we'll have a little bit less damage to the base. So yeah, the other tip that I could say, as you get further on, make a door on this side, make a door on that side, bring the platform wall out so it's level with this block on both sides, and then whack a electric fence going across so it will zap them as soon as they stand on here. That's another way to make sure they don't gang up on you. I think that's about it. Not really much else I can describe to you. Thought I saw something moving then. It's my eyesight playing tricks on me. Rid of these. But yeah, you don't need to build this whole thing. Just need to go too deep, 2 squares deep with your strong stuff, and then all the rest is made out of wood. And it's literally the it's a default one you get for building it. So yeah, there we go. That is how it's set up. Could be in a dog growl. Is that something to do with this? Oh, okay. Yeah. Like I did the hard, like I said, I did the hardest all night, and it all stood up. No issues whatsoever. I'm pretty sure what done most of the damage was the bees flying around, maybe, or something. I don't know. Yeah. There we go. Let's do the whole night. Now again, I would say this relies on the gear you've got and the mods you've got, and whether or not you've looted everything you need. And then if you design it well and keep it like this, you shouldn't have any issues. You should just be able to crack on with the whole night. Right. Let's do this. Did they break the outside one of that? No, they didn't. Okay. Okay. One Horde night coming up. Okay, so let's get this all done. And hopefully, or before we do that, let's eat all the boosters, which I will assume you will or will not have, depending on where you are in the game. Because the bees, they definitely get me quite a few times doing this. A coffee. Well, I think 2 of them because I think it stacks, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Okay, so here we go. Let's do the Horde night. Press enter. And that doesn't want to work. Why does it not want to work? What's happening? Everything on how it should be. 1. Is it that one? There we go. So I'm going to use the spear as much as I can to start off with. Here comes the bees straight away. You hear the bees hitting everywhere straight away. If you see a cop about the spit, you literally just move to the side. Come on. Get rid of them blinking bee spitters. If we look down, as you can see, base is not being attacked. keep going at them until going through the whole night. So we're an hour and a half in already. Not really any problems, just the bees. They're not really piling up. You get a couple every now and again, but eventually the spear deals with them. Switch over to the gun for a bit. Pops are exploding down the bottom. Back to spears for a bit. Got one that's broken through down there. Now they're stuck in there. Hi. Thank you. Nearly done now. That'll be on 358. And there it is. Now we just clear out the stragglers. Eventually they just stop making it across because they're no longer running. And there we have it. Pause that for a minute. And then we'll go into God mode. We'll go and check the damage. As far as the 3 bars inside, they're all still intact, and that one's a bit low. That one's halfway. That one's full. On the outside, we lost the middle one. So we look. That's interesting. We lost the inside bottom one, but not the outside bottom one. Strange. We didn't lose the top outside one, so the top remained in place, and we just lost the outside middle one. The ramp's got a bit low. The damn bees and the explosions. Along here is absolutely fine. Would never have broke. Down here, they got in a couple of places in here. This was hollowed out as well. They wouldn't get through there. If you're not playing the hardest mode with the hardest settings and the strongest zombies and the weakest player, this ain't gonna happen. But I put it on the hardest just to show you that the base still stands. They got one block, but for the most part, these kept them out. So on the easiest settings, it would keep them out. And they certainly wouldn't do much damage to your base at all, as you can see. For some reason, they decided to hit a block there. Completely random. That must have been one of the 4 or 5 that will hit them blocks. These 2 steel blocks here were mishits when I was repairing. Not meant to be steel. Neither is that. Neither are these 2 here. Just straight down the middle is steel. You want to make these 2 steps here still because they take a lot of grief. The zombies don't like going up them for some reason. But yeah. As for the rest of it, pretty much held out really well. Like it should do. So that's the base design. It's going to keep the zombies off you for the majority of it. Again, like I said, if you haven't got it on the hardest settings at all, that whole night looks very different for you. But yeah, survived easily. Was never in question. Well, I didn't feel like it was. I wasn't really looking at my health and that, but I don't think it got that low. I know we had quite a few explosions as well. One thing I will say though is it is a bit random on the tests I was doing before with blocks that didn't work. There was a lot more damage where the zombies fell. A lot more damage. Seems to be more over here this time where they fell off the edge. Than there is where they fall down here. But hey ho. That is the that's the Horde night. Just giving you plenty of angles so you can see if you want to duplicate it. Like I said, the majority of you are going to use POIs, so this will be a building, and then you just build out one end where there's enough room to go across. The other thing I will say is if you do not want zombies to rage at all when they land on the floor, make your fighting position 14 blocks high. You need a lot more stairs and a lot more blocks. If they fall 14 blocks or more, they don't go into rage at all. That's even with rage turned on, they still won't go into rage. They just fall, get up, and come straight back upstairs again. What else can I tell you? I think that's about it. Not really anything else to explain, I don't think. One thing I will say for those of you that might not know, not a lot of people do know. That's the one I was using. When you're modding, when you're putting mods into your weapons, check every mod and see if it fits, even if it looks like it shouldn't fit, or you need the mod space for one that you do want in there. If you don't have that mod yet, just put in whatever you can, because I mean, look, I've got the shovel mod in there and a pickaxe bunker buster mod in my knife. The reason why I say put whatever it is you can in there is because every mod, whether the mod does extra damage or not, will add to the damage of your weapon. If I modify and I take these out, let me just make sure these are all, there we go. I take the mods out. It starts at 218.3. Now, extended mod does not increase damage. Yeah. Which one are we doing? The 218.3. Extended mod doesn't increase damage. Put it in. 235.9. Silencer normally reduces the damage and range. But if I go back to here and put it in, it's 235.9, that might... It's still put the damage up. Torch doesn't do a damn thing to a gun apart from light up the air in front of you. Put it on, 270.9, it's gone up again. Same with the reflex sight. 288.4. Magazine. The semi-mod. Rad. And that. And eventually get up to 358.5. Now even with the M60 filler mods, that only does 252.7 range damage. The Desert Vulture, with all mods, that's 358.5. So a lot of people say, oh, the M60 is just an amazing gun. Yeah, it has a bigger magazine, you can fire for longer, but Vulture does a hell of a lot more damage. Especially when you add all the mods in. And you got the boosts as well for each of the weapons. Both weapons have a boost on there. Don't forget your sweets and whatnot. Keep them stacked up. Keep hold of them and use them on your Horde night. The armor I went with is Preacher gloves because of the 60% undead damage is just insane. Biker boots for the reduced melee stamina because I use melee. Undead damage resist from the chest piece of the Preacher, plus 15%. And then stun resist 20 from the Commando helmet. That's the outfit I usually go for or aim for. Once I've got all the skill, before I've got all the skill points, I would use the, I always forget what it's called. Have a look. It's the one that looks like it's got a basket on the top of it. Yeah, nerd outfit, because that gives you an extra chance at skill points. That's that, I can tell you. Skills wise, then I opened all the books just to make sure that I had all the buffs. So I just spawned in and got all this stuff ready for the end Horde night. I'm guessing by like the day 700 in the Wasteland, if you actually played that far, you would have all the books. Like, you wouldn't be missing any. Perks I did, and I still have a load to spend. And I stuck with the base 1 point per level. I didn't up that in this. So I did perception to 10 to get my spear, and quick and perceptive. Penetrator up to max. And I did perception mastery up until blood rush, because long shot don't use rifles. Strength, I only went up to 6 to get the pack mule. Didn't use anything else in strength. Fortitude, machine gunner, and 10 out of 10. Pain tolerance, because that helps with healing massively. Fortitude mastery. You see all them, gives you max health, whatever. All of these ones down the bottom. Melee kills grant you extra HP, keeps you alive. Healing factor. Gain 1 health every 5 seconds. And critical injuries heal twice as fast. Iron guts, the food. And the buffs last longer, that's why I go with that iron gut. Then cardio is just your stamina. In agility, I did 10 out of 10, and then maxed out gunslinger, deep cuts. Whirlwind to use the knife faster, although I didn't end up using the knife in that whole night then. Parkour, just because it reduces the stamina cost of jumping, not that I did. Agility, I did down to glacial reflex to deflect the first zombie or animal attack with ease, recharges every 60 seconds. But we didn't need the last one because I wasn't using bows. And in intellect, we just use physician. We didn't actually need that. Additional 20% chance to dismember enemies with buttons, craft items in the chemistry station faster. Yeah. So probably could have just done with going to 3, to be honest. The armor I maxed on all 3 just to get the buffs. You get the plus armor rating. And lucky looter just to increase the loot, even though I'm not going to bother looting. Just because we're in a random area. If I've been in, if this was natural playthrough and I've been in like a tier 3 or a tier 5 POI area, then I'd loot it, but nothing amazing, I don't think. Yeah. Nothing amazing. They got one of the blocks here. Yeah, there you go. That is a whole base tutorial. Like I said, if you want to see me build it block by block in another video, then leave a comment down below. I can easily do that for you, but it is pretty straightforward. I think I've looked enough of it. Like I said, this is your base part. This is going to completely depend on you guys, how you choose, where you choose, blah, blah, blah. Just make sure the bottom 3 blocks all the way around the outside is covered with these, and that way only 4 or 5 zombies are going to hit it. The rest are just going to ignore it. From your fighting position, make sure these are in, because as you've seen, for the most part of that Horde night, there was no zombies down here. Just the occasional. Well, I reckon there was about 4 or 5 at the end, wasn't there? And I think they were probably pushed down onto there. I doubt they walked onto there. Yeah, that's about it. I'll show you the top again, because you can pause the video and guess it. Show you that side, how that looks. Same with the other side. Yeah, that's it. That is about all I can remember to put in, to be honest. So yeah, if you liked this video and it helped you in any way, consider hitting the like button and subscribing. Join the Discord, which should be a link down below in the I forget what that section's called below now. The information section, whatever it is. Description, that's the link in one. Until I've had no sleep. And yeah, thank you very much for watching and taking time out of your busy days. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye for now.
Storms on the road with a bag full of steel. 7 days on the clock make the dead feel real. Spears in the dirt, knives at his side. Arrow in the wind when the pale ones rise. Blood on the boots, mud on the blade. Every broken house is a debt unpaid. He checks each shadow, he counts each moan. One man moving like the world got sold. Hear the gates shake, hear the bones crack. Storms won't bend, storms bites back. Burn the fever, cut it clean. He's the last hard hand in a rotting scene. Clean it out, storms brings the cure. Clean it out, till the dead hit the floor. Spears up high, knives go low. Storms takes back what the plague stole. Storm